on a Wednesday. We are at the Broad Street Downtown Market, and we are enjoying just some seared tuna steak served over arugula with citrus vinaigrette. I'll bet you 15 cents they're not serving that at Saga tonight. It's $8.99. Available right now at the Broad Street Downtown Market. Remember, happy hour 4 to 6 with the $2 drafts all week long. The big ribbon cutting coming up next Thursday as they really grand open this bar and restaurant side of things, and then the late Oktoberfest coming up with the Halloween celebration here in Hillsdale. This Hillsdale College volleyball program is sensational. What the Gravels have done with it is absolutely incredible, and the testament to that is the fact that they're able to bring in talented kids like Emily Wolfort, Sam Siddall, and Haylee Booms. Thank you all for being here. Looking at your record so far, Brad Monasteer's here too, by the way, Assistant Athletic Director. Brad, 7-8 on the year so far, but they've won their last two, 4-3 in the conference. Kind of give us the state of the Charger volleyball team.
It's a team that's really emerging week by week. They're showing a lot of improvement. They had maybe for the second year in a row the toughest schedule in the country to open the season. We got invited to the tournament at Concordia St. Paul. All they've done is win 6 straight national championships. And I believe 7 of our first 8 opponents were nationally ranked. So these girls saw the very, very best. And what they've been able to do now that we've gotten into conference play is to take that experience and take it out on teams that we should beat. And we looked awfully impressive playing in our brand new renovated gym last weekend, beating Walsh and Malone 6 sets out of 7 over the 2 matches. And all 3 of the girls here have and will continue to play really big roles in the program getting back to where they were 2 years ago when we were an elite team in the country. I have no doubt that this team will be there at some point during these players' careers. And the 3 that are here today are going to play a big part in getting us there because they have the talent, the work ethic, the coaching, and the belief that they know how good they can be, they know how good they have to be, and just the last step is just going out and doing it. And we've seen that they've taken all the lumps they took to start off the season 0-4, playing 4 very, very good teams. It paid off last year. Yeah. We got a similar start last year and made it to the NCAA Sweet 16. And I believe their start contributed to our strong finish. I see this year their start contributing to, I think, a really, really good finish for us coming up later this fall.
There's 2 ways to start a season. You can start off with soft opponents, get some confidence, maybe get on a roll, get some wins under your belt, and then you go forward that way. Or you can play the very best in the country, which is what you guys have done, and it's been challenging. And, I don't know which is better. I think you can make an argument for either way. But the fact of the matter is, Emily, you've played some really good volleyball teams. Now you're getting a little bit of momentum winning your last 2 games. By the way, Emily Wolfort was the 2011 Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Indiana. That sounds pretty good.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it definitely, I think, helps us to start our seasons off against stronger opponents because at the time, it stinks to lose. Nobody likes to do that, but we play well against them. We kept up with them this year, and I think ultimately that helps us grow throughout the season. And our record might not show exactly what we feel during practice and during our games because we know we're working hard and we're getting better. But every game we come out a little bit better. We're gelling more, and I think it'll eventually show. And playing that hard schedule at the beginning will ultimately pay off for us.
What's Coach Gravel like when you're losing?
He normally stays pretty calm, and he's always kind of calm and collected, but he does kind of light a fire under us sometimes if we need it. He knows exactly when we need that, when we need to be pushed a little bit, but he knows what he's doing, and he knows it's all for the better. He
seems like such a calm, even-keeled guy, so that he can take it all in stride. But I think that it's a little bit deceptive, too, because he has a pretty hot fire that burns inside of him. He wants to win, and he expects to win a national championship during his tenure at Hillsdale College. He's told me that on numerous occasions. Yeah. He thinks that he's assembling talent to be able to make that kind of run. So it's a process, right? You lose Lauren Grover, who was a sensational player. What had to happen to sort of replace her and go forward, losing somebody that impactful?
We knew that the other middles, such as Haylee, they knew they had to step up into her role, and we knew we had to replace her. But it was nice that we had the majority of the team coming back because we only grew from there, and we just kept continuing to grow from where we left off last year, and that has been really helpful. And we have seen a lot of improvement in like a freshman that come into. We have 2 middle freshmen that have really helped step up too, and that just creates more competition in practices and ultimately makes us all get better.
Emily Wolfort is a sophomore on the Chargers volleyball team. They've won their last 2 matches. The next one's coming up at Wayne State on Friday. That's a 7 o'clock matchup. They are back at home again Friday the 18th in the beautiful new arena, and we'll talk to the kids about that in a minute. Looking at the season so far, I don't like to see this 3-0 loss to Grand Valley. As a Hillsdale College graduate, that doesn't sit well with me. What can you do to make sure that that never happens again during your time at Hillsdale College?
That definitely is fueling our fire as of now, because we know that we can beat them. Yeah. We've done it in the past, and we just did not come out ready to go, and so that is a pinch in our side right now that is just pushing us to get better, to come out stronger against them, especially next time we see them, so that does not happen against them.
I follow some of you guys on Twitter, and you can follow me, if you're listening at home, you can follow me on Twitter at ACB on WCSR, and I'll retweet these guys if they say something funny. But the stuff that you post during the preseason conditioning, the hell that you guys are going through during that time, I think there's a misconception that volleyball is, you don't have to necessarily run 100 yards, or you're not constantly running like you do in basketball, perhaps. But the amount of work and conditioning that you guys put in, it's really tough before the season, isn't it?
Like when we first came here for preseason, the first day we went out on the football field and started running sprints, and our seniors led us, and they're like, we're getting to work. And because volleyball is all about short, sporadic movements and sprints, and we might not be running for long periods of time, but we definitely have to have that explosiveness to get after the balls and be powerful in the game. So we definitely put in a lot of work.
I think what Coach Cravella said to me in the past is you don't want the kids even thinking about that stuff. You have to be in such great conditioning that, and you saw it happen a couple of years ago with Ashley Crowder. I mean, they made it to the Final Four. She was completely beat up by the season. She had a shoulder issue and some other issues. She was in such great shape that she was actually able to play through that injury. If you don't have that base, you're not going to make it.
And in close games, too, that's what Coach always says. He's like, we know we're more conditioned. We work hard. We are ready for this. And so that really prepares us for tough, close games, to just have that stamina throughout the entire match.
Emily, I'm going to put you to work right now.
Okay.
Would you introduce Sam Siddall for us?
This is actually my roommate, Sam, and we've been best friends for a while now. And, she plays outside hitter as well, and she redshirted last year. And she's really come out this year, and she's contributed to the team very well, and here she is.
Sam, what was it like on the redshirt year? Because obviously in high school you were a big-time player. You come here, you have to sit out the first year. Was that expected? Did you know that was going to come? And how tough was it to sit out?
Right. It was definitely a transition because, like you said, I went from starting every game in high school to sitting on the sidelines and watching. But, I mean, I got used to it, and I got really into the games. It was fun for me to, cheer for my teammates and help them on the court. So I still got to practice and travel. So, I mean, it was tough at first, but I definitely accepted my role on the team and embraced it. So,
after sitting out last year, this year you come and that you're expected to be a contributor. Were you nervous coming into the season?
Oh, definitely. It was another transition that first game, my heart was pounding. So.
And when you were watching last year, what were you able to learn from that experience of just sort of taking it all in instead of being able to play?
Right. Well, I was able to watch my teammates, so I was really able to learn just mental toughness, honestly, and able to watch them and what they would do on the court and where they would put balls and how they would react to everything. So,
but the nice thing, isn't it, for you that now you still have, after this year, 3 more years.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to be, your senior year, you're going to dominate.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean,
you are going to.
Sam,
you are going. Sam Siddall is with us right now. She is joining us. This team, you beat Malone 3-1. You shut down Walsh, a dominating performance, 3-0 against them. This Wayne State game coming up Friday, what do you know about them?
It's always tough with Wayne State. I mean, they're a great team, so they're going to come out swinging. So we just know that we need to start out strong and just really be smart about what we do.
I don't play volleyball, but if Haylee Booms was hitting the ball at me, I would just like curl up into the fetal position and cry. Do you have to face some of these hitters in practice?
Yeah.
And what is that like?
It's tough because, I mean, you're going against your friends.
Right.
And so you really have to come at it still with like a mentality that you want to beat them. So it's difficult.
I'm interested in the mentality of a volleyball player, though, because as a regular civilian, I would want to avoid the ball.
Right.
And you have to go to it and try to do something with it. And when the ball gets hit 100 miles an hour at a great angle, you know, you've got to be really trained and ready to handle that and have quick reflexes. How do you get there?
Well, we're raised from a young age to want the ball to come to us.
Right.
And that's something that our coaches always say is you want that ball every time. You want to be running in front of your teammates to get to the ball. So, I mean, it's just a mentality that you have to kind of grow with.
What's your role on the team right now?
My role on the team, I'd say that everyone's role on the team is to really fight for spots because you never know what the starting lineup is going to be.
He changes it. Coach Cravell has been changing it a little bit, hasn't he?
He changes it. So really, my role is to push my teammates and push myself to get that starting spot and just help my team to a win.
Let me ask you real talk now, because this is a tough question. Coach Cravell isn't here, so I'm going to ask you. And I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but you know, some coaches don't like to do that because people don't know what their role is, and there could be some confusion, and sometimes that can be counterproductive. On the other hand, it creates competition. Mm-hmm. Is that how your teammates see it? That it's an opportunity to compete for playing time?
Definitely. That's exactly how we see it. I mean, every day you go into practice and you're competing for spots. We actually started doing this thing last week called star drills, where every drill that you win, you get a star, and then whoever has the most stars at the end of the week will most likely get that starting spot. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely competitive, and I think it helps us a lot in games to have that competitive mindset.
So not only do you have to get mentally prepared for games, Sam, but you have to be mentally prepared to practice.
Yes.
You can't be having a bad day or just not really feeling it that day. You've got to be ready to go. Mm-hmm. Talk about this kid, Haylee Booms. Introduce her for us.
Haylee Booms, one of my great friends. She is a middle on our team, and I often go to Haylee for advice on the court and off the court. So this is my friend Haylee, sophomore.
Sophomore Haylee Booms. So, Brad, you brought the young guns tonight here. Haylee, thank you for being here. You're one of the names that we hear a lot about. You crush the ball. Do you break the ball?
Do I break the ball?
Yes.
No, never.
Is Booms the perfect name for a volleyball player?
I've been told that a lot of times, actually, yep.
Yeah, I would think so. What about this new arena? I mean, we've talked a million times about it. Don Brubaker finally gave me a little tour of it the other day, which was exciting. You guys have had a weird transition year because you've been displaced. You haven't been in your home arena. You've been, down in the Bierman Center, maybe at the Academy. Finally, now you're in the arena, which is still kind of in progress. What has that been like, kind of not having an actual home this year so far?
Sometimes it's tough because like you said, we started off in the Bierman, and then we moved to our real gym, which isn't our real court right now, though, because they're still working on the other ones. But at the same time, you're still playing the game of volleyball. It doesn't matter where you're playing it, what court you're on, what type of court you're on, whatever. It's still volleyball, so it would be nice to have a home, though, but we're getting there.
When you signed at Hillsdale, when you signed to come here, I'm sure you had some other opportunities. Did you know that new arena was coming down the pipe, or did you have no idea?
No, I had no idea.
So it's exciting, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you go in there now, you've played a match there at least, right?
Mm-hmm, yep.
So what was it like? First game, brand new facility, brand new court. What was it like?
It was great. We all felt, we kind of felt like we deserved like a brand new court.
Well, darn right.
Yeah, we're like, all of our sports are so great that we wanted a great place to play in, and the old one was good, just wasn't great, we'll say.
No, I think it's fair. I think it's fair to say that it was time for an upgrade.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've got that upgrade, and it's just really starting. It's beautiful now. It's going to be even better down the road. Mm-hmm. The support of the community for your team. I look back a couple years ago during that National Final Four run when you had Ashley Crowder and Lauren and all of the rest. I mean, the facility was as electric as I've ever seen it for any sport, including men's and women's basketball. It was unbelievable, the amount of support. You've got to be wanting to build before your time is up back into a position to have that kind of an atmosphere again at that arena.
Yeah, definitely. We've actually seen pictures from Facebook of those years, and you just see the crowd and how many people are there, and we just want that again. I mean, we set goals every year, and our goal is to make it to GLIACs and to regionals and all that, but the ultimate goal would be to host it at our home arena, just to get that, all like those people coming in, the crowd. I mean, it's still the game of volleyball, but just to have a crowd, and it just makes it so much more fun.
I've always been, kind of a basketball, football fan. I don't know a lot about volleyball. My wife and I went to one of those games, and it was truly, I've told Brad this before, it was truly one of the great sporting events I've ever attended. I mean, the volleyball is incredibly dramatic and exciting when you see good teams playing it. And those are some good teams playing it. Looking at your season so far, you had the tough tournaments at the beginning. Looking forward now, you're sitting here at about the 500 mark. You've got some GLIAC games before the GLIAC tournament on October 25th gets started. What do you want to do before you get into the postseason tournament? I mean, what are some things that you think you can accomplish before that time?
As a team, I think we definitely want to start just putting away more games. We've been playing a lot of tough teams, but now that we're in the GLIAC, I feel like we're more comfortable. Like, it's just like teams that we're used to seeing and everything. So I think we want to get more wins under our belt and just work hard so that we have a solid team right now, no matter what. Whoever goes out on the court, it's always solid, but just like push each other so that when we do get to postseason that we're all ready to go all the time.
Now you're playing Lauren's spot?
I am, yeah.
So what was your relationship with Lauren like? Did she kind of take you under her wing last year in her senior season?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she was kind of like just the person I looked up to, like a role model. Like I always heard people saying like just how good she was and everything. So playing even just with her was great because like I'd see her get like a ton of great blocks and kills, and I'd go in there and be like, I want to do that. Like I want to be just like Lauren. So yeah, she was
and
great.
Student body president and all world student, and I mean she was a decent human. She was pretty good at life. It seemed like. And then you've got to come in and you've got the pedigree to keep that going. It just seems like whenever I talk to your coaches or teammates, it's a united group of people. You guys all are on the same page. It's about taking stuff seriously in the classroom. You guys do sensationally there. We all know how tough that is. And then, I mean, really a top Division II volleyball program in the entire country. That's really, at this point, the expectation, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We, like you said, we're a team. We really do love each other. And it's funny because you hear about like a lot of teams maybe like not liking each other, getting sick of each other, but we just keep loving each other.
Through the good times and the bad.
Yep, we just get closer.
And it strikes Haylee Booms with us here. It strikes me too, having those tough losses at the beginning of the season, it's not fun. But I think you really get to know each other during the bad times. And you don't have to wait until the season's really on the line to go through a trial. You've kind of been through that before, and that might galvanize the group a little bit. Is that close? Or?
Yeah, I would say it bonds us, going through those losses and everything. And we do see how each other responds. And at the same time, we all know that we are going to respond in a way that will make us better. We know we'll all be determined to come back and just work harder and win.
I'm going to put you on the spot before we wrap this up. And I know you don't want to leave anybody out and all the rest of it, but three of you came tonight, Emily Wolfort, Sam Siddall, and Haylee Booms. Who are a couple other of the key players that our fans, our listeners need to know about going into the rest of the season? Who are some people that have really been playing on top of their game so far?
I would definitely say, for my spot, the middle, Lindsay Kostrava has been amazing. She's just a brick wall when she goes into block, and some of the balls that she gets when we see her block them, we're like, wait, what? Like, how did she even get there? So, no, she does a great job all around. And do you guys want to talk about somebody else?
I'd say Caitlin Kottmeyer has always been one of our strongest players, just all around. She is honestly a little bit short to be a hitter, but she just gets up there and puts balls down, and it's amazing. And that on top of her defense, it's just insane. So we can kind of always count on her. She's just kind of like the rock of our team sometimes. So.
Caitlin is also one of our captains, and our other captain is Sydney Lenhart, and she's been playing libero recently for us, and she has been doing a really good job. And also Marissa Owen, she's also in our class, and she's been our setter, and she's been stepping up, and it's been looking good. So.
Awesome. Brad, I want to thank you for arranging this and bringing them down. What's the ceiling of this team? It's a young team. It's a talented conference. What could they achieve realistically before it's all said and done?
They can achieve whatever they can imagine,
right.
Because what I think, I want the listeners to understand this. This team spent about 10 days in Europe over the summer, and they went on a trip out there, got to play some really high-level volleyball, but also the bonding effect that a trip like that can have has a real impact on the group. It was such a young team. There's 7 players in this class that are 3 of the 7 are here today, and this group's going to be together for some time. And being able to have an experience like that so early in their careers, you have to rely on each other. You're in a foreign country. No one speaks the language. No one knows the food.
Yeah.
And the food would be my issue if I was over there. But so the fact they could have that so early on, it gives you those intangibles that separates good teams from the best teams. And this team is going to become one of the best teams because the talent is there, the work ethic is there. If the talent and work ethic weren't there, they wouldn't be here.
Right.
So you already have that when Coach Gravel recruits you. So now they've been through going to a Sweet 16, competing at a high level in a college environment. They've been in literally a foreign environment and learned how to rely on one another. And this team has become extremely well balanced. The girls were talking about some of the other players that step up and fill those vital roles. And you don't get better in the games, you get better in practice. And this team competes against itself so hard. I've seen a lot of practices that they've been in since this group has arrived. They go at each other really hard in practice. And when the practice becomes harder than the games, there's no one this team can't beat. And in these girls' careers, they'll be capable of beating absolutely anybody that they come up against because you factor all those things, you mix them all in the pot, and what comes out of it is a team that's made of championship stuff, and I am convinced that they are made of that.
Top-notch kids and tremendous coaches with what the Gravels have done. Emily, Sam, and Haylee are incredibly busy people, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come here. Thank you all so much.